And so, where we are now, giving the predictions of the 7 days or 7,000 age of the earth, and then the precision of the 7 feasts, many believe that any September from now, the world can end. But like I said, my focus is not the day the world will end. My focus is the fact that you are in the last days and you need to be prepared. So 2 things I want to do in this service is, number 1, show you the 13 events that will happen at the end of time, and then show you the preparations that Jesus commanded us as a church to be prepared when we approach the end of the age. So write down, we are going to do a teaching on these things, but write them down so you get used to them. Number 1 is the increase in lawlessness, apostasy, and global deception. Matthew 24, verse 4 to verse 12. Increase in lawlessness, apostasy, and deception. Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. We are reading to verse 12. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. Are you seeing that this thing, many people will be deceived? That's why the Bible speaks of the great falling away. Most people will fall. That's why he said, he that is standing should be careful. Are you seeing most of the doctrines coming today as though live anyhow you want, it doesn't matter? It's part of the deception. Him that standeth should take heed lest he falls. It's part of the operation of the last days. So when a man can't live righteous, he looks for a doctrine that supports living carelessly. Yet he's saved and properly saved. These are deceptions of the age. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come. But the end, the day of the Lord, is not yet come. So these are signs of the last days. When you see them, know you are in the last day. Although it is not the day of the Lord, but they are signs. And you are going to see Paul speak about them, because I'm going back to 2 Timothy. I'll show you. It says, for nations shall rise against nations, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquake in diverse places. It says, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. We are in the age of sorrows. It said, next verse, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Have we raised Christians that will die for his name's sake? That means we are not prepared. That's why we need preparation. Jesus is saying the quality of Christians that will survive in the last days are those who can die for his name's sake. Do you think we have such Christians? How many of you can die for Jesus? The way you raise your hand fast shows you don't know the meaning. You should have said, Holy Spirit, help me by your grace. When you say I can, you don't know what we are saying. Maybe you go to Hebrews 11, read from verse 32 to 36. Some were sawn asunder. You think when they say die for Jesus, they will just shoot you. You close your eye and appear in heaven. No, sir. Die for Jesus means you can be in prison for 10 days without food. Then they behead you. Die for Jesus means you can be torn and sawn asunder. Is it this generation that can't go out for evangelism that can die for Jesus? You wake up on Saturday and say, I'm tired. This generation that cannot give their resources for kingdom that can die for Jesus. If you can't give money, can you give your life? If you can't give time, can you give your life? It's not a question to answer quick. But Jesus is telling us, this is the age we have come to. That means it's a risk to be a genuine Christian. But if you are not a genuine Christian, then you also risk God. Verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Next verse. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, he said the love of many shall what? Wax cold. So when you study the end of the age, you are going to discover that there will be increase in lawlessness, increase in apostasy, people who will turn from Christ, and increase in deception and immorality. In fact, Paul speaking about this in 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 to 5. Let's read it. And 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. Write these scriptures down. Today I'm going to be very slow. I want you to get the foundation. It said, put then in mind. 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 to 5. And it said, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. Are you seeing the reason for first chat? People idolize themselves. You see somebody throwing out his tongue and recorded and put online. The serpentine order. And you will think they do it in brothels. No, sir. Here they do it. They are worshiping God. Instead of people connecting to God, they are recording to put online. Let their friends see where they are. If you need the recording, there is a camera session there. Wait, when the service is over, get any part of the recording you want. Put anywhere you want. Lovers of themselves. It said men shall be covetous. Somebody sees your phone. Some people, as you are sitting here now, be discerning. Somebody can see your phone and monitor you until after the service, until you enter the dark, to stab you and collect the phone. So long as his eyes are on that phone, he doesn't care if your kidney is destroyed. It's a covetous generation. That's why most of the people with high blood pressure now, it's not sickness. It's covetousness. That's why this generation, 19-year-old people are having high BP. These are things that affect elderly people. But the person went on Instagram, saw his classmate with a watch or a phone, and the next thing is, God, why am I like this? Questioning the Almighty. And he doesn't know that it's the spirit of the age manipulating him to become covetous. And he speaks of boasters. A pastor is sitting doing live stream. He wants you to see his watch. There's nothing wrong in having good things. But God, it's not what you are projecting, it's Jesus. Some will adjust their belt. They are not seated. No, it's belt they are propagating. Boasters. Flaunting cars, flaunting chains, flaunting watches. But Jesus can't be seen in their lives. It's the spirit of the age. Anything a man has becomes an item. People don't even buy things now because they like them. They buy things now for people to see that they have them. That's why they call them goods of ostentation. It's for show. Boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. These are signs of the last days. He said, without natural affection, men loving men, people marrying dogs. He said they are truce breakers, no regard for covenant, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those things that are good. Nobody cares about any good thing anymore. That's why if you want something to trend, make it evil and immoral. This is the sign. It said traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than what? Lovers of God. I'm writing this so know what to build yourself to fight against. Because this is the age that we are in. When you want to violate a covenant, remind yourself it's the spirit of the age. When you want to be braggadocious, remind yourself this is not you, it's the spirit of the age. When you are obsessed with immoral things, remind yourself it's not your desire, it's the spirit of the age. If your Christianity is not brought into this understanding, you will fall. Because you will live carelessly and unprepared. Number 2, what is the sign that Jesus gave us? You can add 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3. Number 2, the rise of the Antichrist. These are events of the last days. Write them down so that you will know why we are calling it the last days. Because many don't know. When we say the last days, they don't know what it means. So they don't know how to position themselves. Some of us, even what we are pursuing in the name of God, is the spirit of the age driving us. Somebody wants to kill himself that he must break through. It's not because God or himself is the reason. This breakthrough is because this my neighbors must see. They will not die. They will see God lift me. That pursuit is not holy. It's the spirit of the age. When they finally get that car, they will do housewarming party and park the car in front of the gate. Everybody must know that the car has come. They don't want a car, sir. The spirit of the age have saturated them with pride. So people can use anointing and serve the spirit of the age. Number 2, it said, 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3 to 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, that's the day of the Lord, shall not come, except there is first of all a falling away, and the man of sin, the son of perdition, is revealed. It's made manifest, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, all that is worshipped, so that he as God seated in the temple, showing himself as God. The rise of the Antichrist. Now understand this. The Antichrist is a prince, an agent of Satan. But the Antichrist is also a spirit. That's why he didn't just tell us about an entity. He gave us his characteristic. Anything that opposes Christ, opposes the way of the Lord, anything that tries to exalt itself above God is of the Antichrist spirit. And we are going to examine many scriptures so that you'll get to see it. There are many Christians that will become Antichrist. They will feel they are offended with church. So they will begin to oppose everything that is of God. And there are many who are in church who will be Antichrist. They will be so big that Jesus will become obscured. So they will be exalted above Jesus. Because they will call it honor. So you will honor pastor more than Jesus. More than scriptures. More than the ordinances of God. It's an Antichrist spirit. So you can even teach eschatology and not know that you are Antichrist. This is why it's important for understanding to be built. The son of perdition, the lawless man, will appear. I'm going to teach you, as I'm teaching you now, I don't have time to explain pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, and post-tribulation. But those who believe in pre-tribulation, they know that the son of perdition will come before the rapture. Those who believe in mid-tribulation, they believe he will come in the center of the Daniel's week. That's the 7 years of tribulation. He will come in the middle. Those who believe in post-tribulation, they believe he will come sometime before the 7 years. But we'll deal with all of that later. But I want you to know that there is an Antichrist spirit at work, and there is the Antichrist that will be made manifest. The Antichrist spirit has two characteristics.